Welcome back, sports bettors. This is Jeff Makinen again at DRF Sports. I'm here to handicap the Monday night national championship game between the Clemson Tigers and the LSU Tigers, which will take place at Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday. DRF Sports is your home for betting angles for all games, straight from the world's most respected sports handicapping database. You get access to the most powerful game simulator, exclusive betting trends data, along with power ratings and profitable edge plays, all for $5. Log in today at sports.drf.com or www.drf.com and click on the sports logo in the upper right hand corner of the site. You can get your subscription started for just $5. Monday's national championship game has the potential to be a real classic as two undefeated teams, the 14-0 Clemson Tigers take on the 14-0 LSU Tigers. The game will feature two of the top quarterbacks in college football. In fact, many are projecting these two to be top picks in the NFL draft. LSU's quarterback Joe Burrow is widely expected to be the number one pick in this upcoming draft, going to the Cincinnati Bengals. Trevor Lawrence, the star quarterback of Clemson, is a sophomore, but is projected to be the number one pick should he leave as expected at the end of his junior season next season. In fact, in a recent 2020 NFL mock draft that I saw published on Bleacher Report, there are 6 first-round picks projected to be playing in this game, so quite a bit of talent here. Both of these teams with spotless resumes, which really makes a game like this somewhat challenging to handicap because pretty much every trend and angle you're going to look at is a positive trend for that respective team. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to read you all the good reasons to bet on either side of this game. And at the end of the video, I will share with you who our consensus pick is in the sports forum for this week. LSU currently a 5.5-point favorite over Clemson. The line has shot up from an opener of 3. Interesting to note there, a 2.5-point movement. The total has moved up from 68.5 to 69.5. Looking at our rating systems, starting with Game Simulator estimate number 1, Clemson is projected to win, according to estimate number 1, 38 to 34, which represents 9.5 points of line value to Clemson here. Estimate number 2 calls for a 37-37 tie, which gives you 5.5 points to Clemson and 4.5 on the over. And the power line also takes Clemson. Clemson a hypothetical 5-point favorite in this game. So all our rating systems pretty much lining up the same way here in favor of Clemson. Now, from a statistical standpoint, of course, both of these teams with spotless resumes in terms of their team statistics. Clemson outgaining their opponents by 7.5 to 4.2 yards per play. LSU 7.9 to 5. So both of these teams are quite good. Clemson has the edge defensively with just 264 yards per game allowed and 11 points per game allowed, which is 11 points better than LSU's 22 per game allowed. On the LSU side, they have played in the SEC and in general a tougher schedule with a 40.9 average power rating of opponents played as opposed to Clemson's 36.1. Looking at our betting angles, all of these pretty much are going to tell you the same thing. Both of these teams have been excellent cover teams over the last couple of years. Clemson, of course, in road games versus good rushing defenses, 19-3 with Dabo Swinney. That's quite an amazing 5-star trend, averaging a 35-20 outright victory. They're also 7-0 this year against winning teams. It's really, the profile is really spotless. Here is one interesting trend here in our betting system. Bet on neutral field underdogs who outrush their opponents by 100 or more yards per game on the season. That is 38-15 over the last 5 years, a 71.7% winning percentage. Of course, on the LSU side, there's going to be excellent trends favoring them as well. Ed Orgeron is coach of LSU, 13-1 against the spread versus good passing teams, which we qualify as teams who pass for 8 or more passing yards per attempt. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence does qualify here, so Ed Orgeron's LSU teams have gotten the job done in those scenarios. Average score there, a 15-point LSU win, so quite impressive in that respect. They're also 7-1 against the spread over the last 2 years versus teams who average 450 or more total yards per game. So excellent offensive teams there. In terms of the over/under, LSU 6-1 over against good passing quarterbacks. So what tends to happen when LSU plays guys like Trevor Lawrence, they get into a shootout and tend to prevail. There are some that favor the under here. Dabo Sweeney with 2 weeks of a rest, or in other words, 2 weeks to prepare, 17-5 under as coach of Clemson. So as you can see, I mean, there's basically reasons on both sides, reasons to like both sides of this game. In terms of the betting action, LSU generating 79% of the wagers, which a lot of public action is pushing this line from 3 to 5.5. 66% takes the over. Looking at these teams' schedules, really all I can see here is a lot of W's and a lot of blowouts. Games of note against really high quality opposition. LSU did beat Alabama 46-41 on November 9th. They routed Georgia 37-10, and they routed Oklahoma obviously in the semifinal. Clemson, not quite as difficult of a schedule. They did prevail 29-23 against the Buckeyes of Ohio State in the semifinal back on December 28th. Overall, this game is a difficult one to handicap in that, again, both teams come in here with high quality talent along with spotless resumes. Our sports forum handicappers do take Clemson in this game as a consensus pick. 2 of our handicappers offer it up as a best bet. The way I look at this game, I think LSU, if they're going to pull this one out, it's going to be a shootout similar to what they've done all year, where Clemson will have a difficult time stopping Joe Burrow in the passing offense. I believe that for Clemson to prevail, I believe this game needs to be a little lower scoring, and they need to control that LSU offense. Either way, best of luck on Monday night, and here's to another great way to finish out the college football season. This is Jeff Makinen at DRF Sports, Twitter handle @SportsDBExpert. Talk to you soon.